Welcome back to Balmer's Workshop, and thanks so much for joining me here again. Today's video is a little different. This time there's no build, there's no tutorial. Instead, I try to flog my truck off on you. It is a 1990 Nissan Pathfinder with some pretty considerable modifications, so have a look at the video and see if you're tempted. Yes, I did indeed cave Sean's fender in. It was already slightly caved in, but I caved it in a lot more. But anyway, this is the rig that is for sale. This is the Balmer Beast, also known as Pathylogical. And it is the first vehicle that I ever fully built, ground up in terms of suspension and armor and all that stuff. So if you buy this, you are buying a piece of Balmer Fab history. And of course, I'll have 1 million subscribers on YouTube in no time, so that'll mean a lot. But for right now, the important parts to focus on are the fact that this is a 1990 Nissan Pathfinder with a stock and completely pooched engine. So you'll need to put an engine in it. You could put a stock engine in it, which I've done twice already, and it has been reasonably satisfying. It would definitely be more satisfying with a much more powerful engine, so I suggest a swap. But what you'll be getting is a running vehicle that is at least in good enough shape to get a tire up like that. You'll be getting a vehicle that flexes incredibly. It's got a 3-link front, 4-link rear. 3-link is all custom that I did myself. And we can have a good look at that here. Rear brackets, you can see drive shaft adapter, double cardan on the front drive shaft, and Johnny joints on every end of this. Super flexy, super smooth. Custom cross member, and that was so that I could have the drive shaft articulate properly. The exhaust has been modified to work around that. The donor axle is out of a 1980 Jeep Grand Wagoneer. It's a Dana 44 with 456 Yukon gears in it. Has chromoly shafts, also Yukon Super joints. Those are over $300 a piece. Those U-joints in there. Comes with a special grease gun to grease those, which is included with the vehicle. It has a Yukon spool in the front, no locker, just a spool, so it's locked all the time in the front. You've got DOM steering, full DOM steering, completely adjustable, and it has Heim joints on every end. You've got an adjustable DOM track bar. You've got a trussed axle with also a diff guard. So super, super tough up front. You've got Wild Horses early Bronco dual rate coils. They are designed for a 6-inch lift on an early Bronco, but they give this vehicle about 8 to 9 inches of lift. You got limiting straps there to make sure you don't go too far on your suspension. You can see as well that there are spring guides inside here, so you can actually stretch this so that the coil will come about 5 inches off of the coil perch without worrying about it coming out of its position. And of course the limiting strap stops it before that happens. So you're all solid up front, and you got amazing travel. Those coil buckets are also adjustable, height adjustable, so you can put in longer or shorter coils. You can raise or lower the vehicle according to your taste. It obviously has extended brake lines, and I mounted those on springs so that when they do get pulled, so that when they're in their normal relaxed position, the springs are retracted and keep the lines out of the way of the tires. This is, I think, about its 8th year since build, and I've had virtually no issues with it at all. And then in the rear, it's a lot more basic. What it is it's an extended version of the stock 4-link. So what I did is I took the stock lower links and I used them as upper links. They're 11 inches longer. And then I took the stock lower links, cut them, and sleeved them with DOM and made them 11 inches longer than the lowers used to be. So that's how I effectively pulled my suspension mounts forward to get the articulation that you're seeing now. And again, Wild Horse's dual rate coils in the back and Rancho 5000s, non-adjustable track bar back here, non-adjustable coil mounts. So if you wanted to make adjustments there, you would have to build your own adjustments into it. But you can see how well it flexes out. It's definitely a champ in the crawling department. Rear end is stock, that's a 231B, and it's I think a 9 1/4 ring gear, 9 1/4 inch ring gear, so it's very, very stout. I've put this thing to the test and it has never let me down. And now it won't let you down. And here you get a better look at the fully flexed out front. So that limiting strap is absolutely tight right there, and we're almost at the end of our coil guide. Coils are retained at the bottom and they have guides at the top. Works phenomenally well. Again, adjustable coil buckets and Heim joints on everything. Get a little better look at the rear this time with everything up in the air. There's the compressed side. There's the extended side. And everything stays in place just nicely, even when fully flexed, such as it is there. Obviously some custom 2" by 5" steel tube bumpers with receivers front and rear so that you can run a cradled winch. I don't have wiring run for that. You'd need to do that yourself. I've never run a winch on this thing. Custom sliders, super heavy duty, 2x3, 3/16 wall main rails, very, very tough. In terms of rubber, you've got 37-inch Interco boggers on 10 by 15 wheels. These mud guards are removable. Obviously, if I was in a crawling situation right now and I went to back up, I'd tear the mud guard off. So when you're going to go wheeling, you always want to remove your mud guards first, and you can see there that there's simply a set screw that you're going to remove to take out your mud guards. Again, pretty solid bumper in the back, 2x5 with a receiver and recovery points. Flares over all the wheels to make it as legal-ish as it can be. And speaking of street legalness, I don't guarantee that this thing is street legal. However, it's been insured many a time. It's never had a VI. The biggest issue with it right now that I can point to in terms of VI is the broken windshield. Definitely get a new windshield if you're going to put this thing on the road. And you know, there's going to be some other stuff, but it's pretty minor. Hood pins are one of them. You'd have to put a hood latch back in it. Right now I'm just running hood pins, so you'd need to put a latch back in to make it street legal, and possibly a couple other things. But it's got the mud guards, it's got the fender flares. Frame is reasonably solid. Let's have a good look over it. Everybody is always nervous about frame rust on these things, and we are coming up to the point where it's always questionable. You can see there is a little surface rust in there, but that is all there is. Nice solid frame, bit of a rotten body, but who needs a solid body when you're just going to bash it off trees anyway? And there you go. I don't think there's a whole lot more to tell you. It's mainly suspension you're looking at here in terms of the amount of work that's been done to it. But a good solid rig and a hell of a lot of fun. Put a stock motor in it and have as much fun as I always had, or put a killer motor in it and have way, way more fun. And that's a wrap for another video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a look in the description for all of the parts list and modifications details. See you next time.